Hi there and welcome to another week. This is Joy News Interactive, where I pick your comments on trending and topical issues. Find us on Facebook at Joy News on TV. We use the same name on Twitter. We are live now on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144, and also streaming live on Facebook. Now, let's begin with probably what I'll call the biggest story today, and I predict it may be the biggest for the week. Yes, it's finally here. It's been long coming since 2008 when then candidate Akufo-Addo touted the free senior high school policy. Well, he didn't get the nod then. He tried the second time. It still didn't work. And then finally in 2016, he got elected to be president. Many have been eager to see if the free SHS will see the light of day. Well, it's here. And what we've discussed, visibility, availability of funds, issues surrounding placement and student frustration with the placement system in the past few weeks. But today, many students are expected to report at the various high schools across the country. And we've been in touch with some of our correspondents. And well, while all this is going on, the NDC says this free senior high school policy sits well with their ideology. And some of its members claim the NDC began this whole concept of free senior high school with implementing the progressively free senior high school. A lot of you have been commenting, especially on this issue, on who must receive the credit for free SHS. This morning on the AM show, George Anda was here, who is with the MPP, Alhassan Suhuyini with the NDC were also here, and this was one of the most debatable, if I may call it, portion of the free SHS they discussed. And a lot of you got onto Facebook where we were streaming live to share your thoughts with us, and let's just pick your comments there, and that's just on Facebook. That's the live telecast of the AM show with Roland Walker, Alhassan Suhuyini, and George Anda. But Bright Ben Bella says the NDC should leave Nana to do his work. The NDC had the opportunity but chose to indulge, well, in massive corruption, he calls it. Now you are talking as if you're an angel, referring to the NDC's representative, Alhassan Suhuyini. Akora says, I'm watching from Korea. Suhuyini should stop the propaganda. It's in the interest of all. Who started versus who is continuing matters little. You know, he says, let's be result-oriented. Asai Kwesi says, the best morning show in Ghana. Thank you very much. That's for the AM show. Abul Ansani says, Alhassan Suhuyini should give Ghanaians a break. Can he walk with both feet at the same time? Even there wasn't mass change of regime when the SHS was reversed to 4 years in the erstwhile Kufuor MPP-led government. Abul Ansani comes again. He's watching from Damango. And, well, thank you very much. Evans Oreku Amponsa is asking, do you ever believe in free SHS? Ask him what they said about free things in 2012, just for them to make a U-turn after Tuguba cleared them at the Supreme Court. Okay, Victor Ampong says, tell them, let's stop this and pull ourselves together to rebuild our nation. And he's talking about this whole argument. If it's the NDC who began free SHS or the MPP that's taking it, it's still free SHS and Ghanaians must benefit. And Asai Kwesi says he's watching from Germany. Thank you, Asai Kwesi. Says Suhuyini should give us a break. We know that the NDC... Apologies. No, the MPP. So we know the NDC and we know the MPP. So Suhuyini should give us a break. All right. Tafotua says he was enjoying the program. That was the live telecast of the AM show on Facebook. And Alex Doe says, all right. Yahweh Chapong says, Suhuyini talks as if we are not in Ghana or we were not in Ghana during their regime. Kojo Biafe says, Alhassan, you are better than this. Why should you lower your discourse just because of politics? And Oforian Ponsa says, Mr. NDC, you were in power just some few months ago. If you can't beat them, join them. Emmanuel Champon says, please, someone should tell Suhuyini that he should talk and behave. All right, he goes on. Abul Ansani comes back again, says, I don't expect the NDC propagandists to heap praises on the MPP and the president for such a successful implementation of free SHS. But I must commend Dr. Francis Takoro, MP for Drapa, for commending the president and the MPP for this flagship program. He made this known, all right, on another station, GH1. Prince Frimpong Kodia says, Alaji Suhini should give us a break. The money for the Ghana flag colors they hanged around trees could have been used to purchase chalk and all he's talking about. I understand the NDC, they're just beating themselves with their inability to think critically to come up with any social intervention. Let's end with Onyina's comment. He says the NDC and their logic is unfortunate. Every policy has a starting point. If the NDC thinks that free SHS should have started from the 3rd year, I think every Ghanaian who's been to SHS should have his fees refunded then. Maybe that will satisfy the NDC. You should accept if your opponent does something better than you anticipated. All right, so you know the NDC had a unity walk in Tamale, and at that unity walk, minority leader, Minority Leader Haruna Idrisu was also speaking, and well, he suggested that this whole free SHS policy is actually an ideology there, or sits well with the ideologies, an intervention borrowed from the said social democratic ideology, and that the MPP does not believe in that kind of ideology. And you know, he went on and on, but a lot of people think, you know what, just forget about it. It doesn't matter who said what or who started what. Free SHS is here. But we've been speaking to some guardians and parents, as well as some students who visited their schools to register today, and here's what they had to say.
My name is Mbaliti Hamdan Malanga. I came from Dumont, and I was attending Abate Junior High School at Yendi. I came this morning and I saw my colleagues on the quay. We joined and we are on the quay. I don't know what is going on. And I was being placed in Vitin Senior High School. And the course that they give me is General Arts. Yeah, my first thanks go to the, Our Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo for making free HSS for us. My expectation is that I'll make sure that the fees that they are paying for us, I'll make sure that I'll learn hard, and I'll build the name of Vitin Senior High School. I'll make sure that I'll obey the rules and regulations in Vitin Senior High School. I'll not be doing what is not accepted in the school. Always, I'll do what the school expects me to do, and I'll learn hard to be somebody in future, to also help those who are at my back, and they'll also come to senior high school.
I came this morning with my younger brother Hamdan. We are here to take admission, but we are still in queue to see what is going on. So I feel very, very proud with the government, and I'll make sure that I'll urge my brother to learn hard in order to achieve his goal.
We've been here since early morning to get a list for our children. When we came, the list that they placed on the notice board, most of us, over 200 parents, will find their names on the list. But when we pushed, we found out that it was private schools, candidates whose names have been placed on the notice board. So we have to go to the assistant headmaster to prompt him. So they've seen the blunder and they said they will rectify it. So as at now that I'm speaking with you, we are waiting for the list of the government schools to see if we standing here, we have our names on the list that they will provide for us.
What explanation did they give to you for that blunder?
They didn't give any explanation, but we prompted them and they found out that we're right on what we are saying about the issue that they did for the private instead of the both private and government schools.
So how long are you supposed to wait here?
They did not tell us, but we've been here since early morning. Apparently it's after 10 and we are still waiting patiently for them to come and tell us something.
So we brought you that from Tamale and here in Accra. The last man who spoke to Aisha Ibrahim, and he was speaking from Odogono Senior High School. Let's now take you to the Eastern region, where some parents taking the awards to Ebri Girls Senior High School have been sharing their expectations with us.
Very, very happy to be here.
Okay.
Because she chose this school as the first choice, and by God's grace, she's able to have it.
Any family member who went through Ebri Girls?
Not at all. But from peers and friends, they recommend the school for her, yes.
All right, they've got a great environment, by the way, but you're not paying anything in terms of admission fees and tuition. That must be good news.
Very, very good news. Because, education, you can say, is expensive. So if you are not paying anything as a parent, you'll be very happy. Yes, so that you use the funds for other things in life, yes.
All right, but what are you getting your young girl? What are you giving to her as part of the things she's bringing to school?
Oh, definitely you need to bring her a lot of logistics. As much as she's going to be fed by the school, she needs also to give her, because she needs to be very comfortable so that we're able to learn in a very serene environment like this place.
Yeah. Are you leaving her behind today?
No, because we're asked to come for the prospectus, so that they will know what she needs to bring along.
Okay.
I will prepare very well and bring her.
All right, get ready. The first time I reported to school, I cried. So, but thank you so much for talking to us. We wish you well, and your young girl as well.
You are welcome. Thank you.
Let's talk to another parent, and it's interesting. The men are bringing the girls to a girls' school. Good morning. What's your name, please?
Madam, my name is Reverend K.M. Ajololo.
Okay, Reverend Ajololo. So you brought your girl here. She chose here as a first choice.
First choice.
All right.
And she got it.
All right. How does it feel knowing that she got her school of choice?
So happy to come to Ebri Girls, because that was her first choice, and there was no problem about it. She got it perfectly. So we thank God for that.
And now you are here to go through the process. How has it been like for you?
I can see it's good. The headmistress Kemeli, and she started with us, showing on the process.
Okay. When is she finally reporting to school?
They haven't given us the date yet. But I'm thinking through the week they'll tell us what will happen at the end of the week.
All right. What are you going to use the money you would have used for the admission and the tuition? What are you channeling those monies into now that you don't have to pay anything, really?
That's good question that you're asking me. We are all happy about this special free education in SS, because the money that you have now, you can use for other things to improve the life of the child.
So you're buying more provisions?
Yeah, what they asked us, we bought it for them as in the petitions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Reverend, thank you very much. I hope your girl enjoys her stay at Ebri Girls.
So thank you very much for
finally, we get to speak to a woman, because after all, we're in a girls' school. Thank you, Reverend. We're in a girls' school. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So you brought your daughter here?
Yeah, he's in here, this one.
Okay. And how does he feel? Because some people have issues with the placement and they are going back and forth, but you have a school.
He felt better. When he was mentioned, he was very happy.
Okay. And then you're not paying any fees?
No. No.
Okay, that must be good news.
No, Tina, he's fine.
Okay. Ubani your friend Tina?
Okay. Tina.
Na and you are no more almost secondary school one.
Well, we first one or Kwame Nkrumah.
Okay.
Second one or aviation.
Okay. It's a omumi and any day to fees. And away they won't share. Into Sisas Canada now the bear.
May the better na council.
Excited, and she says that she's going to put all that money she would have invested in her daughter's education into an account she would create for her. Wise, isn't it? Well, you're watching Joy News Interactive. We'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll be discussing more. Please stay with us. Thank you so much for staying here on Joy News Interactive. As I mentioned earlier, it's the biggest story of the day. Probably will extend to the weekends, a free senior high school. Now, it's not President Akufo-Addo's fault that some people didn't make the mark for placement. That's according to George Under, Deputy Communications Minister. And a lot of you have been reacting to this because we know that throughout last week, a lot of students did not know where they were going to school, even as some of their colleagues have reported today. Some of them had issues with accessing the website that will show them which schools they were placed in and all that. So let's get on to Facebook. Stephen Saki is asking, free SHS? Says, here's the logic. The rich people who took their children to the best basic schools will obviously make the mark, and the poor man's ward will miss out. The rich men who can afford to pay the awards fees will rather enjoy it for free. The poor man misses out and continues in suffering. That's the reality of our system. And he says, God save Ghana. Tech Swarmer says, when I had free education, I thought it was for every Ghanaian, but then it was limited to high schools. Fine. Then I thought it's a great chance for junior high school students. Every goal ever to be set has to be smart, specific, attainable, realistic, measurable, time-bound. Says, I suspect Nana and his team to be specific by explaining to us the opportunities with the conditions, the conditioning being that you would have to qualify for entry before you be placed and hence enjoy the free senior high school. That's from Tech. So my Tech's argument, I think, simply put, is that they were not specific when they were touting this policy that you have to, qualify to enjoy free SHS. So I'm just wondering, should we lose standards because of free SHS? That's another question that we may want to find answers to. Jai Roy says, not some people, most people. Well, he's saying even someone who had 26, they didn't get a school, and is still within the range of qualified persons to enjoy the free senior high school. Fabulous Machiavelli says, now you know it's not the president's fault. You've soon forgotten what you did to JM when you were in opposition. It says, shame on you. That's to George Under. Wisdom Okutu says, all right. Ron Khan says, the GES must do their work well. Isaac Kelvin Pekan says, human with wisdom can just make this understanding simple, not the president's fault at all. And Yebaite Nwabate says, well, it's his opinion. Godwin Sapong is actually dancing to that comment that it's not that sends a gif of someone dancing, saying that it's not the president's fault if people couldn't make the mark, if they couldn't go to the senior high school. Afrik Bak Owusu, sounding quite sarcastic over there, says, no, it's my fault. So while we talk about free senior high school, celebrities endorse candidates and all that, we know who the celebrity, if I may put it that way, or who the ambassador for free SHS is, and that's Abraham Atta. You can call him a celebrity in his own right. But this is one coming from someone a lot of us love, and his name is DJ Lil Wayne, Ghana's own Lil Wayne, and he has endorsed free senior high school. Take a look at this.
Hello, what is in your West? Hello, Ghana. Many papa Lil Wayne, Kojo, and a way. The can say many Lil Wayne, you support free SHS and BIM live. Big up Napo, big up His Excellency the President. Great initiative, we are fully in support. Free SHS coming live in Ghana. Lil Wayne,
we are support free SHS in Ghana. What I say in a train, Sinyama. I'm gonna go night and then the way best I could school because my bomba is a bad year. We are support VSHS because it's good.
Yes, we are over here.
Catch.
Well, I think one question we may not have answered is that would the free SHS be available for persons who, are maybe quite old and didn't get the opportunity to go to senior high school? We'll try and find some answers because Lil Wayne wants to go back to school. A lot of you have been sharing your comments on this particular video. Charles Nana Edu thinks that it's cheap propaganda. Can't Lil Wayne fund his education? He's asking at this level he finds himself in the music and movie industry. Say you see your levels. And he hashtags Abraham Atta, who is the ambassador for free SHS. Prekese Kwame Aristocrat said, how can you, so-called competent government, implement a policy without policy documents? Prekese rather. sorry. Says, what name would you give to such a government? Nasir Hassan Yaima laughs, says, all right, to my niggas on the block now. Kudos to the old man. Baba, God bless him and his government. And Doug Maxwell says, if you have a government that uses 8 million Ghana cedis for communication to fight an army worm, all right, for SHS problem should be clear to you. Nana Boama laughs and says, so nice, my honorable, you do all. And Doug Maxwell says, there's no flexibility with this free SHS. The beneficiaries are tied to the wall. I'm surprised the MPP is failing openly to even adhere to their own slogan, development in freedom. How can a government who claims to have the best of policies run our education system like this? All right, so he talks about the conditions. It goes on and on and on and on. But there are 5 replies to his comment there on Facebook. Yao Barama says you could have made the point without the bogus hashtag change the chain 2020. Nana Chaptek says, and who paid you to be spreading this negativity? Calls him a loser. Dav Maxwell Kamba says, I'll be happy if you attack the post above. And Aboarding Nana Minta says, man, even this government's 1-year scholarship has conditions. Free education is expensive, so why would the country keep spending on failed students? All right, so keep spreading the negativity. It helps the government to put things in right order. And then Matthias says, you must listen to yourself first. How can one progress when he or she fails? You should rather be thankful for that clause, which will even challenge the children to learn hard in order to get access. Catherine Na thinks that the video with George Anda and Lil Wayne is rubbish. And Ebaite Nova says, asking Lil Wayne, which school will you go? Or will you go to the school of comedy? That's to Lil Wayne saying that he wants to go back to school. And in Nkrumah, Emmanuel says, I'm also going back to school. Eric Kwame Noah says, you did nothing to help. And Brakwesi Ket says, Lil Wayne. And Philip Jeku says, good job, man. Kwabna Sama says, Kojo, you can think far now. And well, Haj Ronaldo says, we want JM back. Lloyd laughs at that comment. Okay, actually laughs at the video with Lil Wayne and George and Lil Wayne endorsing free senior high school. Well, it's been all about free senior high school here on Joy News Interactive. The policy finally sees the light of day. We've been bringing you reports from the regions and even from here in Accra. And in some centers or some schools, you have a smooth start and, you know, registration is ongoing. In others, there seems to be a bit of a challenge. Join me at 12 for the midday news. I'll bring you more on this. My name is Benis Abubedu. Many thanks for your company.